Hi, I'm Katherine, the founder of the Only Consultant and Prisma Tax Group. I specialize in tax preparation and accounting for sex workers and creators of all kinds. Thank you for tuning into Cash Content and Chaos, the podcast where money, entrepreneurship, and real life collide. Listen in to learn, laugh, and realize that you're not alone in figuring it all out. Hello, everyone. It is my first solo podcast episode, the first of many, for sure. This is something that has been a very long time coming. I have a lot to say, and thank you so much for being here to listen. So, for my first solo episode, I want to provide value. I want to answer a very burning question that a lot of people have. This is the first thing that the tip of people's tongue the first time that we meet, and that is what has to be done to catch up on your late taxes. So, this is a chill situation. It's Friday night. The lighting is good. We're going to do this quick and dirty, very digestible. And I'm going to walk you through a few very simple steps, action items, what to do if you are years behind on taxes. Most of the people that call me, are behind. That is the nature of being a creative. And honestly, after the pandemic, obviously, taxes were not at the top of everyone's mind. That's very normal. There's a lot of shame associated with this. So let's just erase that right now. This is a safe space, okay? Many of you create safe spaces every day in work for your clients. So I want to create that space for you. And I understand that there's a lot of reasons why people have the relationship that they have with money and taxes. There's a lot of money trauma, financial trauma, and there's many layers to that. And that is a separate podcast episode. But I just want to start by saying, you don't understand anything about taxes. You don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to be embarrassed. I know it's overwhelming and confusing, and I'm very happy to break it down for you. I obviously am an accountant, so I went to school for accounting, and I literally cried all through tax class. I thought it was the worst thing ever. I really had a bad time when I was working in public accounting and CPA firms as well, because it's dry, it's intimidating, it's a lot of words. I'm ADHD, so I have a creative mind, and I understand how spreadsheets can seem like someone told me that my spreadsheet that I send out to clients is like the spreadsheet from hell. But as someone who worked many years in Excel, I understand that. So here we go. First step in being confident in your money and in how taxes work, because filing your taxes is the first step to unlocking your dream life. It is the buy-in to a mortgage, to investing, to your dream condo, to a car note, to credit, to another business that you want to fund. Unfortunately, the system is bigger than us. I did not make it up. I am the messenger. Okay. This is how taxes work. And this is what to do if you are behind on your taxes, even multiple years. Very first thing you want to do after we've set the tone, we lit a candle, we have incense going, you're going to log into your IRS account. You have to sign up with an ID and Me account. So have your ID ready because they have to verify you with your social security number. And this is going to show you everything that the IRS has on their end for you. So you log in, you can see the last time that you filed taxes. You can see if you have any notices. You can see your wage and income transcripts. That means that any 1099s or W-2s that were issued to the IRS will be in that portal and you can download them. You can see any payments that you made, any payments that you owe. Tells your whole story. It's a very good place to start. So the first thing you have to do is figure out the last year that you filed taxes. If you had taxable income, then you have to file for that year. So let's say the last time you filed taxes was for 2020. So you'll log in there and there will be a return transcript of your 2020 return. And then they'll say no info for 21, 22, 23, 24 as for like the return filed. But then separately, you can download your wage and income transcripts if you have any. So I know a lot of clients are earning income in cash. Obviously, if you did not earn a 1099 from anywhere, then you won't be able to download it. Sometimes I know clubs will issue dancers 1099s, but it's like not your full income. Depending on how many tips you're getting on Cash App, you could have a Cash App 1099K, Venmo, creators, your 1099s from all of your platforms will be in there. And then, of course, your W-2s as well. So if you're earning income in cash, we're going to put a pin in that. We're going to come back for you. You have to at least log in and see the last year you filed. The next step is to start gathering all of your tax documents. Gather everything you can. Okay. So you can download everything that's in the portal. Maybe you have investment statements at home. You have mortgage interest, a tuition statement from a college that you were going to at that time. The tuition statement, it has to be from an accredited college or university. So unfortunately, if you're taking like a certificate course, it won't be in there. If you went to university, you can, get back into your school, It might be in your email too. They'll send it to you. It's called a 1098. So step one, log into your IRS account. See the last year you have to file. Download your IRS wage transcripts. Number two, gather all your tax documents. This includes your bank statements. So if you're earning self-employment income, like I said, if you're a dancer and you're depositing your cash right into your bank account, pull your bank statements. Depending on what bank you have, you should be able to download them. Like most of the major banks, you can. Sometimes you have to request, which is annoying, right? So you have to go in there and request that your bank statements be sent to you. They will usually send them to you in a PDF. Sometimes they charge you, whatever. Nonetheless, you got to get your bank statements. And even if you don't have a separate bank account for your business, fine. If it's out of your personal, pull it. We're gathering, we're organizing. Okay. Start folder. Maybe you're a digital girly. Put on your desktop, scan everything in, you got a digital folder. Maybe you love paper. Great, make a personal folder. Do whatever works for you. Okay. If your friend is using QuickBooks and you open it up and you have no idea what to do, don't touch it. You don't have to use QuickBooks. Find a sustainable system that you, the individual, the business owner, the entrepreneur, can maintain and don't feel bad about it. Okay. So we're talking about systems as well. Then, if you are earning self employment income, you need to organize not only your income, but also your expenses. That's where the magic of being self employed comes in, right? Because if you can optimize your expenses and you're being strategic in how you're spending your money, you're categorizing them correctly and appropriately, it's going to bring down your taxable income at the end of the day. It's how much you're actually taxed on is your profit. You can't make up expenses. You can't write off personal expenses. It has to be true business expenses. This is also called a tax write off. Those two are exactly the same. This has nothing to do with the standard deduction. This has nothing to do with itemizing your deductions on Schedule A. That is something else. We are talking business expenses, AKA money you literally have to spend in order to earn self employment income. And I'll do a separate podcast episode on write offs and how all of that works. This is a high level and stress free conversation, so we're going to keep it moving along. Have you ever felt like tax season was designed to make you stressed? Let's face it, your income doesn't show up as tidy as a W 2. Instead, it's split between cash, apps, and constant fees. Whereas most accountants see this as chaos, I in fact know that it's my expertise. Here at The Only Consultant, we meet you where you are and transform confusion into clarity and confidence. The Only Consultant specializes in accounting for sex workers and creators. I designed this firm to turn tax season from panic to power, giving peace of mind to hustlers like you. We help you stay organized, feel confident, and remain in control of your money with judgment-free support and simple systems. We handle all the complicated stuff such as tax prep, bookkeeping, and compliance support so that you don't have to. The result? The feeling of empowerment that comes from being fully in control of your bag. You don't need to wait until April. You can go ahead and start today. Simply go to theonlyconsultant.com and book your consultation now, because peace of mind should be part of your hustle too. Find a system that works for you to organize everything. So I have a free spreadsheet. We'll link it below. You can download it. We have it for creators, dancers, sugar babies, whoever you are, however you're earning income, you can use this tracker. If you open the spreadsheet and you hate that too, then you can track it by hand. You can do it in your notes app. Any system that works. We have to know when we file your taxes what your total self-employment income was, and that's by profession. Okay, so if you're dancing and creator, those are separate. If you're dancer and real estate, those are separate. Hair, separate. Okay, so top line, all the self-employment income you made, and then your expenses organized. So that's going to be cameras, computers, ring lights, subscriptions, travel meals, uniforms, LLC formation, tax preparation, health insurance, portion of your rent, portion of your phone bill. Okay. All into categories. We need to see the annual total when we file your taxes. The tracker that you can download from me, it has it broken out month by month. That's so you can track it easier. For the purposes of tax preparation, get the annual totals by category. Boom. Okay. So you're referencing your bank statements. You're referencing journals you had or if you have a calendar where you're tracking everything. If you can use your Google Calendar to track what days you were traveling and then go back in your bank statement and put the pieces together. It's a little bit tedious. It's not the end of the world. You know your life. I've seen clients that go back in their photos, which is super smart. So they, use their memories to then track it to their bank statement and then just organize. It's not going to be perfect. Okay. We have to accept this. Don't make things up. Only write off things you can track. God forbid you're ever audited, which I cannot say one way or the other what's going to happen. Okay. But if you were to be audited, they're going to want you to prove every single expense. So it's not worth it to mess around. So we're doing our best. We're doing our best. Okay. We're organizing things by category. If you were driving anywhere that year, you can track your miles driven. Great way to do that in retrospect. Use Google Maps. Okay. You live in Vegas, you drove to LA, record those miles. If it's, it's not 100 miles, it's 97. Okay. When you're recording expenses and anything related to taxes, specific numbers. Do not round them off. That's a red flag. When you go to spend money, it's not a round number, right? There's tax and all this other stuff. So we're specifically organizing everything. And now you have to actually file your return. You can self file. It's an option. If you're self employed, I do not suggest it. If you have a W 2, self file all day. If you got nothing going on, it's super simple. It goes box by box, plug it into TurboTax, be on your way. Once you're self employed, there's a lot of nuances to this. Okay. An accountant is going to review your expenses and say, hey, travel seems kind of high. I probably wouldn't do that. Obviously, this is why you want to work with an accountant who understands your industry. If it's sex work or nursing or real estate, whatever you're doing, someone who understands your industry and your business so that you can speak freely with. So, for example, like we will review clients' income and expenses and we'll see a super high management fee. I understand how OnlyFans works. So I know that 40% of your income is going to management. That's common in the industry. For dancers, we're seeing everything's earned in cash, understood. And there's a lot of tip outs and house fees, understood. Or dancers are working in several states because they're traveling. Also, if you're traveling, you should be tracking your income and expenses by state. This is very helpful if you are traveling to a state with no state tax. Okay. If you live in California, you go into Vegas to work, that is now free of state tax. So tracking our income and expenses. Now we're going to file our taxes. I would go to an accountant. You will submit all of your tax documents to them. You'll probably complete some sort of questionnaire, might be a consultation, and they'll do your return. So if you're going to go to H&R Block, they'll do it on the spot. I do not recommend going to H&R Block. If you're using a traditional accounting firm, if you're coming to us, which you should be if you're listening to this, we can get your tax returns done in about 5 to 7 days. This is because we're taking our time. We're reviewing everything. We're checking the state laws. People, we have a reviewer. So someone preps the return, someone reviews the return, and then we'll send it to you for review. You should not approve your tax return if you haven't looked at it. If you don't understand it, you need to ask. This is your business. You're signing off on this. You're liable at the end of the day. If you use an accountant, we're both signing the return, but I'm preparing the return off the information you give me, and if you sign it, you approved it. So make sure you're actually looking at the tax return. You will have to sign e-file, like an electronic signature, unless the tax return is a few years old. I think like maybe 4 or 5 years old, you have to paper mail them. So your accountant will print it, sign it, mail it to you, you sign it, and then you mail it to the IRS and your state certified. Okay. You also have a state portal. So when you're logging into your IRS account, check your state account too. And then if you do have to paper file, send it to the state. And then you will either owe the state and your IRS or you will get a refund. So it's called a tax return. It really means like informational summary. Like that's just a document. So it doesn't mean you're going to get a refund if you're filing a tax return. I am so sorry to share that with you. Again, I am just the messenger. If you're self-employed, you're probably going to owe. Just mentally prepare yourself right now. Okay. It's the name of the game. It is what it is. It's because you're not making payments to the IRS as you're earning your income like you would if you were on a W-2. If you're on a W-2, you make $20 an hour, but really when you get your check, you made $17 an hour. Where'd that money go? It's paying your tax. So if you're self-employed, you're going to owe. And being afraid of owing is not a reason to not file. Because there's 2 fines for not filing your tax returns. There's a failure to file and failure to pay. So if you can at least get them filed, you can mitigate one set of penalties. And you can set up an IRS payment plan and a state payment plan. There's rules on it. Obviously, interest is real. Okay. It's like a credit card. So if you set one up, you're going to be paying interest. But it's at least a nod to the IRS and your state that you filed your taxes, you understand you owe, and you're chipping away at it. Okay. And eventually you'll catch up. You'll do tax planning in the future and it'll be fine. First couple of years of being self-employed sucks. It's a mess usually. Okay. Don't be hard on yourself. This is what it is. This is a very typical experience. I've had hundreds of phone calls with entrepreneurs who are a couple of years behind and everything's mixed and they're super stressed. I think they're the only person in the world that's behind on their taxes. And that is so not true. Everyone, people among us are behind. So if you have to set up a payment plan, totally fine. Does tax season leave you anxious, sorting through receipts, or worried you've missed something important? You're not alone. And that's exactly why I created the only consultant in Prisma Tax Group. My goal is to meet you where you are and give you judgment free solutions that make financial management simple, clear, and stress free. At The Only Consultant, our services go beyond just tax preparation and filing. Taking the confusion out of money starts with the basics, aka education and bookkeeping. We can track your income and expenses, which means you'll never have to scramble for receipts ever again, and you will fully understand what is going on. Additionally, I offer monthly subscriptions and ongoing guidance. With monthly support, you'll always have an expert in your corner, giving you real time answers, steady organization, and the peace of mind that lets you focus on your hustle and not the paperwork. We specialize in tax preparation and filing for sex workers and creators. When it's time to file, I handle your federal and state returns, maximize your deductions, and make sure the right forms get submitted for your unique income streams. The benefit? You save time, avoid mistakes, and walk into tax season feeling confident. Last but not least, we provide compliance and business consulting. So whether you need help setting up your business, staying compliant, or navigating something intimidating, I've got you covered. Instead of second guessing, you'll feel confident, supported, and ready to grow with someone who understands your hustle. And here's the best part. You don't have to do it all. You can choose the services that fit your needs right now, or let me and my team at The Only Consultant handle everything from start to finish. Either way, you will receive the clarity, respect, and financial confidence that you deserve. So if you're ready to feel in control of your finances, whether it's this tax season or all year round, head to my website, theonlyconsultant.com, and click contact. Or you can always find me on social media, Instagram and TikTok at the_only_consultant. Click the link in my bio and contact me there. We look forward to meeting with you.
You can do it right in your IRS portal, right in your state portal. A lot of times you can also call. Yeah, it sucks to have to wait on hold, but if you get to a human, they'll help you out. So you're paying or you're getting a refund. Okay. The IRS is doing away with paper checks as of September 30th, 2025. So you have to provide your bank account number and then they'll direct deposit it into your account if you're getting a refund. If you're paying, you can write a check, you can set up a payment plan, or you can have the money directly taken from your account when we file your taxes and press send. Next, you're going to check your mail because there's a possibility that you're going to get a notice. Okay. So, yes, sometimes filing a tax return triggers a notice, but what it will probably say is you underpaid a little because the interest and penalties were accruing the whole time that you were not filing your taxes. And the tax software is going to estimate that amount, but they don't always get it right. So, just check your mail. Don't panic. If you get a letter from the IRS, breathe and open it. I hate opening my mail. Okay. Like I'm telling you these things, but like I'm afraid to open my own mail. So like I get it. I totally understand. But this is what it is. This is what we have to do. Okay. You have to check your mail if you're getting any from the IRS in your state. So just mentally prepare. There's a chance that you could get a notice, but now you're caught up. You have proof of income. You can go to your mortgage lender. You can get a car. Even if your taxes are not fully paid off, having them filed is purchasing power. Having money on your books is purchasing power for you later. And then in the future, once you're caught up, we can talk about calculated estimated tax payments, helping with bookkeeping, tax planning, being strategic. There's all kinds of things you can do once you're caught up. But I know it's like such a challenge and it's such a scary like mountain to approach when you're so far behind. But we have helped tons of people catch up on late taxes. It's very doable and manageable. We have a clear process. We have systems in place, how we work, and we're happy to help you. And if you have any questions, you can just schedule a consultation with me as well. But you can do it. You can do it. This is the first step in taking control of your money and your life. Like, not to be dramatic, this is the first step. And good for you for even listening. I hope you learned something. Follow along for more judgment free tax help on social media and Instagram. And stay tuned for more podcast episodes. You know, this one was educational. Okay, it was giving class, it was giving webinar, but I want to answer your questions and talk about other things at the same time, but providing value is important. So, yeah, that's the show. That's the first solo cash content and chaos podcast. Reach out with any feedback, suggestions, ideas, someone I should talk to, something I should talk about. I am so here for this. I am living for the podcast moment. And Yeah. I love taxes. Don't get me wrong, but like I love to hear myself talk more. So that's that. All right, y'all. Stay well, be well, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Cash Content and Chaos. If you had fun, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who would love it too. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at TikTok at the_only_consultant. And I'm also on X at the Only Consult. I will be back with more real talk on money, entrepreneurship, and life to remind you that you don't have to figure it out all alone. Be well, guys.